Today, we are going to dive into economics and focus on economic systems. Specifically, we are going to be answering the question, what is a market economy? To start, we have some objectives that we are going to accomplish through this lesson. First, I can compare and contrast the characteristics of a market economy based on my knowledge of profit, competition, and supply and demand. And then later, I can design and create a product to be sold in a market economy. As we mentioned, we have some important vocabulary that we are going to look at. We're going to look at economic system, market economy, competition, profit, good, service, supply, and demand. Now, let's start with the first, economic system. That is a method used by society to produce and distribute goods and services. And there are four main types: market, command, traditional, and mixed. Today, we are just going to focus on market economy. Now, there are three questions economists ask when they are studying these types of systems. What will be produced? How will it be produced? And for whom will it be produced? The key is thinking about how do those four types of systems answer these questions differently? And that is our key to understanding the difference. So let's start with an example. You're walking through the grocery store, there's so many different products that you see and so many different prices associated with those products. So an example, on this chip bag, there's a price of $3.29, and we want to think about what is driving that price of that product. Or you want a laptop, and there are so many different kinds of makes and models that sometimes it is overwhelming to choose. Or you need gas and you're driving down the road and you see two different gas stations on two different corners of the same road, and you're thinking about how can they still be in business. So we want to think about this idea of competition. Now, a market economy, based on those three scenarios, we're going to be thinking about a market economy as economic decisions are made by individuals competing to earn profits based on supply and demand. So we're going to look at some characteristics of a market economy to better understand what it is. The first one, consumers and producers. So think about it. Consumer, that is going to be an individual who buys a good, and the producer is going to be an individual who makes the good. So for example, I love to run, so I'm constantly buying running shoes. In this case, I'm the consumer, and then ASICS, the company that makes the shoe, that is going to be the producer. Now, competition is a big one, something we're all familiar with, but competition leads to three main things: better quality of goods, more variety, and lower prices. If we think about it, when going back to a laptop example, we see so many different types of laptops because all these companies are competing with each other, and that is going to lower the price for us, the consumer. An example, sporting events, so football games, we have teams that are competing with each other trying to make the best game possible. So that is also what companies are doing. Now, profit, that is something we all want. We want to make money because profit motivates individuals to work more, and it's that incentive for motivation. So companies are always looking for ways to increase their profits. Supply and demand. Now this is something that we have talked about, so we're going to review. Remember, supply, that is the amount of a product that is available. So think about if you look at iPhones. Demand, how many individuals want a product. So when people are lining up for iPhones, that is showing the demand. Now, three news articles are going to serve as examples for us. This first one is talking about a possible chocolate shortage due to a low supply of the plant that is needed. The second one is looking at Amazon is increase in popularity, so they need more warehouse space to hold all the products. And then also going back to the iPhone example, there's a strong demand for that iPhone X, but Apple is worried about having enough available, so having a big enough supply. Now, two questions I want you to think about on your own. When supply of a product increases, what do you think should happen to the price? So take a moment to jot down an answer. So it should decrease because you want to try to get rid of that product. Or when demand for a product increases, the price should in this case, it should increase because the companies know that we, the consumers, are willing to pay for it. And this final one, limited government role, That is where this idea of the market, so thinking about consumers, producers, supply, and demand rather than a government, is determining the well being of the economy. Now, think about all these characteristics. I want you to take a moment to create a list of real world examples of a market economy, and you're going to be sharing these in your groups. So jot down or type out a list on your phone, but thinking about real world examples. And these are some resources that you can use. So if you look at news articles, that is going to be a great way to get some great ideas.